here, so he's.
Ooh, I haven't exactly told him to go ahead and order it, cause there were some questions about the building maintenance
Yes.
and spending it all, and I told Lee that, I mean, it's all town money. I mean, we did well last winter. If we gotta take some of it out of the highway department, take it out of the highway department.
You said,
I personally don't have a problem.
you said your equipment was,
Yeah, I mean,
was
our
doing
equipment
okay?
maintenance line, I had thought we might have to do a couple more, you know, I mean, that line has quite a bit of money left in it. We haven't broke anything serious yet. I believe, I think I
Well, it's a
budgeted
lot.
no, I think, what is it, I'd have to get the sheet up, at 15,000 and,
Oh, sorry, you got 61% left, I was reading the wrong line.
oh.
I apologize.
Oh, you were
But-
reading the whole,
Yeah,
oh,
so you actually had 61% left in your budget, you doing better. That's great, again,
61%?
61%, yeah.
Oh, whatever,
So-
we would just bounce down. I mean,
Yeah,
she was
it's-
like, we
it's
were
gonna be
talking
down.
about general
Yeah.
things, and I
Yeah.
use that as,
you have just over 10,000 in that
yeah,
equipment maintenance.
I mean, we've got a few other. But, I mean, somewhere in my budget, I have enough money to make it happen without hurting anything, I guess, or running low anywhere.
Right.
If we want, if you don't have enough in your building maintenance.
How's it gonna cost for your door and all that, I mean?
The door itself is $3,500,
Mm-hmm.
that's total replacement.
And is that installed and everything?
So the quote I got for budgeting purposes, I haven't got a specific, and that included an opener and an install. And I mean, I've kinda, I think, what did we ask, was it $1,200 or $1,500 for the carpentry end of it? And we were gonna cut it ourselves, so
Yeah.
it was like between $5,000 and $6,000 total for everybody. I mean, that was with some extra in it. So the door's 35, and say 15 for any carpentry related stuff.
Right.
That's 5,000. I mean, we'll rent the saw and do the concrete cutting ourselves, and that'll just be all in-house.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's what I mean, we can go either way with it. And I'd like to get it done,
Yeah.
we get this one done this year and the other one, another one done next year. But Lean had indicated that with what's going on with the town hall and all that,
Right.
you've really been drained.
Well, that's what, 30 grand right there, just to get the.
Yeah, I mean, which nobody expected was gonna happen.
No, plus the, warrant article for the roof itself is still under, 61,000, and
I think it's about 2 or 3,000 shy, because it went up.
Almost full.
Huh? It's almost
It was
full?
almost full.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So, I mean,
So, I mean, we could cover it out of our part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all town money. I mean,
Right,
it's,
oh, it is,
you know,
yeah.
but I understand you'll try to budget things according to, you know,
Yep.
uses.
mhm.
But whatever your pleasure is on that. I'd rather do that than get it put off another year, if you want to know the truth.
No, I understand that.
'Cause next year we're gonna have to, you know,
If we do that, I would recommend that the board, that we charge it to the correct line, which is town building maintenance, so that we show a true expense in that
Yeah.
line,
Right.
but account for the funds that we.
We could move the money out of the highway fund if we had to, in other words,
Yeah.
what are you trying to say?
well, I think Lean's trying to show a true expense of building
Absolutely.
maintenance
Right.
for
Absolutely.
budgeting purposes in the future.
No, no, and I wholeheartedly
Right,
agree
is
with
that what you're getting at?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree with that philosophy.
Makes sense.
Because if you don't show it where it actually belongs, you move stuff around like that, you never get a true accounting for where your money's going.
right.
You can't sit back and say, hey, on average, we put $15,000 a year
Right.
in building maintenance or repairs
Exactly.
or whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you, I'm totally flexible with.
So you're looking at about $5,000 from that
That's what
line.
I'd say, quick number.
What do you gentlemen think?
Yeah.
I mean, that'll make it all work for everybody or help out.
I mean, if we're lucky enough we don't have to move any money, that's great
Yeah.
for us, but I mean, we, you know, it's a potential, an issue.
Well, like I said, that roof deal isn't,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where you're exactly at with it, but it isn't,
Well, if all goes
it's not
well,
done yet, right?
No.
You know what I mean, so you don't know,
It'll be done before the bridge.
no,
Ouch. That was a long blow.
ouch, I don't know, is the roof gonna get done this year?
Yes.
Oh, good, well, it probably will be.
I goes in recess.
I don't care, beat me up all you want.
It's
you
just
know.
good.
Get your licks in, I don't care.
I'm just
Kick me around, I really don't care.
It may be that we can commingle some of your monies with the other monies and put it in the same place to get your job done, but between the engineering,
I don't wanna pay
which
for the
was in
roof.
addition to the roof, roofs, you know,
I
they
don't
had
wanna
to
pay for
pay,
the roof, Bob.
they had to
No.
pay for, no, they had to pay for we had to pay for the engineering.
Yeah,
Now you got the GC that's gonna come in and do
The work.
the inside, and then you have the roofer that's gonna do the outside, and everything came in well over.
no, I'm sure.
Well
No.
over.
Yeah.
It's just,
It's
who would've thought?
Been a cluster.
Who would've thought?
That's all those unintended consequences.
Alright, well, anyway,
Yeah.
back to the door, I mean,
Yeah. No, absolutely.
so we'll just go ahead with it.
I don't have a problem with it, do you gentlemen?
No, I'm good.
So, I mean, I don't think we can
No,
make much or anything.
you know,
We need to get it
and
done.
you make sense, cause
Mhm.
It's
the
already
way
budgeted.
the way the economy's going, it's gonna cost you more next year anyways, even if it's just a door,
Yeah.
Mhm.
even if it's
Yeah,
just
I
a
don't know how
door,
much
'cause
those.
prices have changed, from spring to now, prices have changed
Mhm.
dramatically in some areas, you know, so.
No, I don't have a problem with it, so
Oh,
I say go for it.
Alright,
Um,
fine.
we're good.
You in?
Yeah.
That good?
Yep.
And I'll make life a little easier on the other
Yep.
side too.
Yep.
Check
Cause I
one
mean,
thing
who
off the
knows what, I
list.
mean, you could have an issue with a building,
Mhm.
maintenance unforeseen, you
Right.
know? Right?
Could be.
I mean-
Yeah, contingencies there, but I mean, you
Yeah.
never know. All things being what they are, if you get this one done this year, we'll have a good idea or round number for next year on the budget too for your second door.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh, the parking lot thing kinda threw me a little bit,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Yeah, you know, by all means,
Yeah.
yeah, evaluate it, take, you know, give us your best judgment
Yeah, no,
on it.
we'll go with that game plan, I mean, the
Okay.
ceiling, and I'll find out what it costs, I have no idea, don't even dare guess.
And whether it gets in the budget or not, we don't know yet, cause we haven't just started
Yeah.
drafting it. I mean, put it
Yeah,
on the
I
list.
don't, I thought there was some
Mhm.
catastrophic type issue, I don't think it was quite
That's
that
what-
simple.
Yeah,
It was more concerns with the other parking lot, which,
yeah, that
would be the
one's,
one I'd be complaining about. Oops.
yeah, I driven through that one's horrible.
Yeah,
That one definitely needs some work.
yeah, so we gotta maybe think about a long-term plan with that.
Well, I mean, I guess, just my opinion, the driveways look in better shape than 2/3 of the roads we have. I'll say no, I'll say no more.
The road I live on's pretty darn good.
Well, we tend to do that, usually when somebody gets to be selectman,
Yeah.
we always do some work by your house.
Thank you.
And we didn't wanna cut you out, but we couldn't help Bob, but
Yeah.
the state stepped in for him.
No, so,
And you were out of luck.
no, you did mine first.
Well, Ron was shocked.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. I rode his coattails.
Yeah, this is a coattail. Yeah, that's kind of the way I,
Yeah.
but we can assess it all, maybe.
Absolutely, no, I mean, we'll do what we promised them, we'll take a look at it and come up with the game plan, and if it makes it, it makes it, if it don't, it don't. I mean, you know, the budget's gonna decide that, and the townspeople.
Yep. Right. Sounds good then.
Thank you, Joe.
Good luck with it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you
I'll
too.
see you next time.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye. Yep.
Well, continuing on the budget, folks. We'll put it on the list. Anything that we ought to take from the mind that you know that we put eyeballs in?
No,
I know we didn't get these, you know, till now, so I haven't had a chance to look at it. I mean, everything's looking pretty good, I mean,
I can pick out lines that I know there'll be remaining funds, there's not a lot, you're looking at a lot, about $1,500, but, I think we're right on target with, most of everything that we.
well, where's
budgeted.
this legal, I mean, we haven't used a whole lot out of that. Is that gonna be getting us in the end here, or are they still?
In the past, it's possible that we'll get something from, Sansucci, who's been
Well, just paid a
defending.
bill today, there's
Yeah.
a check in there.
But that was a small one, wasn't it? Like $300?
Yeah, it wasn't big. I think it was just our portion of the bill.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's correct, cause it's
1/32 or something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
yeah. How many towns we have on it? How come our unemployment's got a big, they upped the rates?
they did, and that was after we had set the, we had in like last 8 years,
Mhm.
been billed $500, then it jumped up to the 1,400.
Be nice if they gave us a heads up on it.
They do their audit at the end of the year, so it's
Mhm.
possible it was just,
It jumped to 1,400, but did we have anybody that collected unemployment?
yes, we have to include past employees that, are collecting unemployment based on another job as well. There's so many
Right,
jobs
right.
within that window.
And you're a
had-
reimbursable employer, that's
Yep.
probably why that number changed.
Yep, yep,
Because your reimbursable
Yep.
employer pays the full amount plus 5% for
Right.
administrative.
yep.
Well, we're not self-funded for unemployment like the state is. The
The
state
town,
doesn't.
the town doesn't pay in. Town is exempt, just like hospitals,
Mhm.
because they only, if somebody from, in town, you were saying 2 jobs,
Yep.
but even if someone in town got laid off
Yep,
and went to work for someone,
yep,
they have to work 90 days, because if they get done before the 90 days,
Mhm.
then it comes back on the town. The town is a reimbursable
Mhm.
employer.
Yeah. But I didn't know-
Hospitals are too.
I wasn't
So
sure if the town was, I mean, like the state, I know we don't pay into it until.
until one of
we
you
will.
collects.
Right.
And
Right.
if you collect, then the town's, the state's
So-
reimbursable like
right.
the town is. The
Okay.
town's reimbursable. Whatever that person collected
Yep.
that was due because of
Mhm.
their employment with the town
Right.
is what the town has to repay
Plus
the
five.
unemployment trust fund.
mhm, yep.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if the town would fall in the same boat as the state did. 'Cause
Yeah,
I know the state's-
hospitals do too.
Good to know. Learned something new tonight. Cool.
You know, Lean, is it possible for, you said you could pick out lines that you know you'd have some type of surplus.
Yep.
Is it possible to highlight those
And get,
for
and scan
next
them.
week, just so we
Yeah.
could get a sense of,
Yep, absolutely, yep.
You can just email it, I mean, everybody good with an email like that?
And scan it to you, yeah,
email's fine.
yeah,
Yeah, we can do it, yeah, that'd be great.
And actually, that would be better, because getting all of these and looking at them quickly versus
Yeah.
getting a
Mhm.
chance
yep,
to see them.
okay. And another line item is, appraisal services.
Where do we
That's
go?
based on, it's in under the assessing board, there's $4,000 there. They technically have picked up and done all the work for the town. The only time that we would see a drawdown on this is if we had a really mild November, December, then the assessor might come out earlier than later to try to pick up assessments so that he's not being called in, cause next year, if we have the 22 homes,
Mhm.
that's 22 new property values that they have to
Yep.
work into the system.
Mhm.
So it could get busy with the budget next year, so sometimes
Mhm.
they'll tend to come in and, make sure that all of our building permits that have started from April 1st to December have been picked up and put into the system.
Gotcha. How's our assessing board doing? I don't know where Tim has left, I mean.
They're doing great, they're doing
Good.
fine, yeah.
Good. I know Tim has been along, a lot of institutional knowledge, that's why
Yeah,
I can.
Mary's,
sometimes.
Mary's pretty knowledgeable as well, so
Yeah,
it works out well.
Great.
There are a couple line items that I'm gonna discuss with Allison as well to find out why there's still 100% in those lines.
Mhm.
Planning consultant, for example. That actually is a contract.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not sure if that's coming up, if we're gonna be paying it all in one sweep in November, December. We can double check on that.
Well, it should be the second part of the contract.
I think so.
Well, the last one was encumbered last year,
Correct, and we paid it out.
paid out, so this one should be come up towards the end of December, would be the
Right, I
second.
think that's the way I remember reading it.
Yep, yeah, it's supposed to be the second part of it, this coming December.
Mhm.
I would probably wanna dig it out and make sure everything's, by the letter, so we don't take them hit
Now,
pretty soon.
I'm wondering if
Towards
there's
the
something
last
I can,
quarter.
you know, if you go to the page 3, the government buildings, the gasoline and diesel, last couple of years, the board has decided to reduce that in-house expenditure line because the money is billed to the departments for their usage and moved, technically moved to this line. And can you see how those numbers are skewed to the end? 462%.
Yep.
I wanna make sure that that's not causing inaccurate ending balance for our percent less, because that could be,
I really, personally, I still have a real issue with the way we're doing it, you know, as far as, I know,
we could
we should have a revolving account that's outside of this. I mean, it's part of it, but yet outside of it, so it's a continually revolving account.
I might talk to the auditor about that and see how I can
Because,
set
like I say,
this up.
'cause I mean, this does artificially skew your numbers and
Mhm.
everything.
I'll talk to him about that. Obviously, there are some lines that are still at 100%, but those will get spent down before the end of the year.
Oh, yeah. I think the cemetery folks, they gotta really keep their head out of their bottom.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, once everybody's got anything else gaining here that we need to, comes to mind or questions or,
I'm good.
I've heard that.
I'd have to look at it a little closer.
Yeah, I'll highlight a
Yeah.
few of them that I'm more of.
One question, I do have one.
Yeah,
Actually $2,000 that went into the rec committee, which line item did they go in?
it
Did
is,
they go into the excursions?
yeah, I think so.
I think it was me, but I
Yep.
can't remember.
Yep. From the prior year, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes, that used to be like 800, so they haven't done any excursions yet this year.
Well, they're doing the Christmas one, I would think.
Right, well, we do that every year, and that runs about 800. I thought that they had something planned to do,
I thought they took another one earlier this year for the flower show. They did,
well,
didn't they?
I'll
I
have to
could've
look.
thought they.
Yeah,
Oh,
'cause I remember there was.
Was that or was it the garden club?
Oh, that was the garden club.
Was it the garden club that
Yes,
did that one? Oh,
yes,
alright.
it was.
Yes.
I remember there was something going on, I didn't remember how,
Yeah,
how it was orchestrated.
No, we had a Boston trip, but that was, I think that was last year.
it's always the Boston trip is in December.
No, they had one that went down, it wasn't December, it was more like a spring, fall. Might have been, no, I take that back, it might have been December because
I
it was
think-
warm.
Yeah, I think it was December last year that you're thinking of.
Yeah, it could be.
Huh.
I know
Yeah,
that
that's true.
old home day, I did hear a little bit of negative. Some people were disappointed that we didn't have fireworks.
Talk to the rec committee, they're the ones that recommended we didn't put them in.
Yeah.
That was their recommendation.
And then the end result of this old home day did spur some residents that said they would get involved next year, so
Good.
I'm hoping that, but right now, pretty much this last year, there was only 3 people that were key. Ken Kerber, John Stevens, Tom Casano were the 3 main. I know Dan Van Kulken helped out a little bit. And then we just tried to lend support to get the word out and stuff like that, and do what we could from, you know, the level of posting your notices, minutes, that type of thing from the office, but, so hopefully next year we'll have a few more people.
That'd be
And-
nice.
Yeah,
Really.
But as far as the fireworks, maybe this was a good year not to have them, 'cause
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
it's dry. I mean,
You probably would've had to take and
Yeah.
cancel them
cancel
anyway.
it, yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's good for the guys that live further away, but the ones that live right where the fireworks are going off,
Yeah.
they
Sweating it
might
out.
not be too happy.
Yeah.
With that thing landing.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they did a lot of them over water this year. What there was of it.
And did you wanna just take a couple minutes to look
Sure.
at the revenue? One thing I can point out to the board is the land use tax. That is the town's portion. We budgeted 10 grand, came in at 31,000. So we have, we probably have a few outstanding. Those 22 lots for next year, for the new subdivision, those are all current use, so we'll be, I'll probably be increasing the budget line on that for 2017.
Oh, so we, this extra and that line is not from them?
That's
Oh.
everything that's current this year, up to
Oh.
date, and I think we
Okay.
might have one or two that are still outstanding that haven't been paid. And that's only the town's portion, is a
Mhm.
different account that the, conservation,
Yep.
gets posted to, which isn't part of our revenue. So that's a good, positive number there. Of course, you have to take,
So 16 grand more than we didn't have before. That's good.
we have to add up a whole bunch of these accounts to get a true
Right.
number. I can work on that as well and give you a better idea, cause we bulk the line items under 3290 category, but
Mhm.
the system separates, dog
Right.
licenses from dog fines and all the other fees that we collect.
Mhm.
Building permit, we're almost on track. He's been pretty steady with, even without the big, number of new homes. Next year's gonna be a real big,
Boy, we're really knocking down the dollars with that cable franchise fee, aren't we?
What was that? Where's it? Let me see
I,
that.
Right there.
Oh, yeah, 61 cents, yeah.
That was bought.
I added that number. Where did I put it? I figured it
Yeah.
was important for us to really see that.
Yeah, no?
It's, oh yeah, the next line, 60, yeah,
Mhm.
that was kind of embarrassing to get that check. It's like, what the
Yeah,
heck?
Cost them more to generate it than.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. So I do have one highway block grant pending, flood control, or excuse me, rooms and meals. We should hear from, the DRA when we set our tax rate. They'll have that number before we do.
Mhm. Still haven't heard from them yet?
I noticed on the web that there are more boxes checked off, but we're not quite ready for the,
What are they missing or what they?
well, they have all their papers, they just have to go through all the.
Oh, they just haven't finished it.
Right,
Gotcha.
they just haven't finished the review.
So, the onus is on them, not us.
That's right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Grant revenue, we did have that, New Hampshire the Beautiful, so that put us over. We had budgeted, $4,027 for the milfoil, but we got the extra 3,000. I think. So expenses. Other items that, let's see, I did those in detail. We did get a lot of unanticipated revenue from FEMA other, which is the 335910. That is all restitution that we get paid from the state judicial branch,
Mhm.
state of New Hampshire refund. They had a state reimbursement checklist
Mhm.
that they had, so a lot of them is their restitution payments, so the 2257 was, unexpected, but
Hmm.
they get paid electronically for those,
Okay,
so.
we'll take it.
Mhm.
Now, where we didn't budget for it, do we have to take and accept it through, our,
I haven't in the past,
I mean, I know it's a line item in the budget, but we didn't have a figure for it, so I mean, if we had like $1, then we would've been okay, I think, legally, but where we don't have anything budgeted, we think
I can check with the DRA to find out if this should be publicly or included in a public notice.
well, it'd be
Because
just on cause it's under 10,000, it'd be on the agenda.
Right, just the agenda, but where it comes in sporadically, it comes in $300, $500, $60,
Mhm.
$900.
Wait till we get our final total and do it all at once.
Yeah, I'll ask.
The municipal association might be able to help on that too, cause I know that's right there, alley. The DRA is not easy to get hold of.
At this time, I have to email her that they don't pick up the phone because they're just really busy with, but I did a detail on that small section from the state so I can get an idea of where we're picking up additional revenue. And again, we have one more highway block grant to enter, which should come in a little higher than that.
Cool. Well, unless there's anything else that you have to So listen, gentlemen, you got any questions or thoughts?
No.
Not yet.
Not a problem, next week,
Good
it's,
to know.
bring it back next week, that's not a problem.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, then on to the score for instruction. Here we go. Wow. Everybody take a look at the, did you go look at this at
I
all?
don't remember seeing that.
Well, let's take a look at it. Did you look at this?
I read it online. Is that the one you sent me?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you talk about the contract itself? Were you here when they sent it to us electronically?
I don't think so.
So,
No, I did see some back and forth about some wording needing to be changed, but
they
no, I
don't
don't,
have the,
I don't think I was.
You didn't see the
Sure.
initial, application to us?
we got some,
I don't think so.
references, they all feel really good.
Yeah.
Really? I went through my email today when after I spoke to you. Yeah, I remember seeing it.
That's just notes. Notes.
Yeah, it's pretty much just notes on that part.
References came back really well too.
Yep,
So these guys ready to,
yeah, the last
Start.
email that I attached to the packet, I didn't
Yeah.
bother making extra
Once we
copies.
signed, they say 15 days and, start within 15 days and be done within 30, so they basically look at it as a 2-week project.
now are they gonna be cutting a hole through the roof of the building? How are they getting in there?
And the,
They wanna open the hatch,
we'll make it larger,
the larger hatch.
inside.
That's all
Inside.
included in there.
So they're going in
Yep.
through the inside of the building, not through the
Yep.
outside of the
Correct,
building?
yep.
Okay. Yeah. Works for me.
Overall, it seemed to look pretty good. We
Yeah,
just had some,
we did, Jo Marie called quite a few individuals, and the comments from a couple of them were that originally they were skeptical because they were the low bid, and, when they finished the job, they were just really, really happy with the work.
Really?
So they ended up hiring them again,
Oh,
so
that's good.
they seem to have a good team of,
Good.
contractors that they're working with
Excellent.
internally, and they already provided, that came separately from the insurance company,
Yep.
so they're ready to roll.
What about the pay, the dates of pay? I know
In
you
that, in
did-
that last email right there, I did ask that question, I said typically we don't like to pay in advance. He said where this is involving special material custom to that job,
Yeah.
they would prefer, they would they would, is the email right there?
Right, so what I'm concerned with is
Sure.
the schedule of payment, where he's, it must be paid by such a date, and it falls short of when we can meet and approve it.
Well, I made, on that addendum, it identifies and addresses all of those, and he signed that, so
Oh, he did
they're,
sign
they're
that.
okay with,
Okay, I didn't see that come across.
the addendum on there?
it's right here.
Yeah,
Maybe it was at the end of the email?
it might have been, I know you had 3 or 4
Yep,
together.
yep. And that was based on Brian's notes, the attorney's review, and then rather than delay the, project any further, I put together the addendum, forwarded it to them, they didn't have any objections to it, so.
It says, once contract is signed, we expect a deposit for special order steel and beams. So they're looking for the materials.
Yep,
Deposit, initial pre-construction test, preparation, purchase of materials.
14 grand.
and then with the addendum changes,
Mhm.
they will work with the payment scale and then the, what other, I can't recall the other items that I pointed out.
Basically with the private, I mean, it said in here about.
Inspection would be required by our engineer
Mhm.
at, before that second, release of funds,
Mm-hmm.
so,
And before the final one too.
correct. And so we're looking for 2 inspections, but, they just didn't agree that they wanted us to hold back any money because he said there was no, there wasn't
Yeah,
much.
I looked at his numbers, and there's not a whole lot
No.
of money invested in labor.
Mm.
Most of it is
Most
for
material.
all of that support work
Yep,
to do
Yep.
with the,
Yep.
roof
Here's
trusses.
the email. You saw that too? I see then, with all the changes that between, you know, stuff we brought up and then what Laura looked at.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see, this I did see, 'cause I saw Laura's email too. Okay, cool.
Alrighty, well then, that being the case, as much as it pains me, because of this 11th hour surprise we had,
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a motion that we accept the contract agreement with Score Construction for a grand total of $29,693 to include addendum number 1 as agreed to by Score and the town of Dunbarton to take and perform the work that Fish Engineering has given us the plans for, to take and fix the structure of the roof.
I will second
I
that.
mean,
That's fine.
second, alright. Any discussion, gentlemen?
No.
No.
Alright then, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.
Okay. Well, let's sign this one.
But the other two came
Oh, I
in
know.
a lot
Oh,
higher.
I know. Thank God we found these guys.
Mm.
Alright, today is the, what, 29th?
Didn't one of them choose not to modify his price much?
They did, they only
Anything?
got
Oh,
2
no,
grand.
both of them,
Like $4,000, I think.
both of them just said take $4,000 off, and I thought it was
Mm.
odd that they would just knock off the same amount, and
Yeah,
of course, one was over $100,000.
If you guys wanna sign that too, by all means.
Oh, no, I thought there was a signing block.
There is on this one.
Yeah, I knew I saw it somewhere.
I'll get you then, I'll
I
pass
thought
it
there
on.
were 2 of them. I thought I saw one on the other one too.
No, there was only one space on that one.
Yeah,
This
that-
one's space.
that's
I mean,
because
if you guys
that's
wanna
theirs,
take-
Okay,
but
no,
you
walk
can,
and
you
sign
can
it.
sign it.
It's all right, one's
That way
good.
they have to go out to someone, I'll go after you.
That's right. Oh, you want it?
I knew there's a method to your madness, Bob.
Okay.
Oh, you want a date too, huh?
Yes, please.
Today's
Pick one.
9/29, isn't it?
Yes.
All day.
Just pick one, I don't care.
Tomorrow and
There you go. Okay, well, we can do John Hancock and then
Yeah.
we'll put it all together and
Maybe.
there you go, sir.
There you go, Wayne. Thank you. Well, good job
All right.
again.
So, this time next month, it should all be done, according to the
Hoping,
contract.
I'm hoping, cause I have gotten in
Yep.
touch with Paul, and I said that we have a contractor, so I'll communicate to him.
Have we talked to John at all about,
Inspection,
inspection?
I left a plan on his desk, I didn't get a chance to look at it, but he's had a chance, I know he's looked at the plan, but we haven't talked verbally as to his
Is I know-
requirements.
Even though we're gonna have, Fisher come in and take a look at it, I'd still feel more comfortable if he, you know, on a regular basis puts his eyeballs on it, you know, not
Yep.
necessarily at the same time every day, but, you know,
Yep,
make
yep,
random inspections and see how they're doing and make sure that
okay,
they, you know, keep them honest. That's me personally, I mean, I don't know what you gentlemen feel, but,
Yep, no, I'm good. Gotta keep our nose in it.
absolutely. I mean, they did give us a good price, looks like, you know, they sound like they do great work, but it's the
But
first
they're
time.
the unknown.
Yeah, they're
Yep.
unknown right now, so.
Yep.
Alright. Last on the agenda before we start digging into everything else here, sick leave versus sick bank,
Yep.
personnel plan.
Yep.
You got yourself a green book in your packet,
yeah.
you know what page that's on? I don't remember.
Page 12,
Oh,
and perhaps this is something that we have to revisit when we modify the, personnel plan to clarify,
yeah.
sick leave versus, what we call, sick leave. And sick bank part. Oh, okay, and the next page, top paragraph, it talks more about the short-term disability plan. than the sick bank.
Well, the last paragraph here is effective each January first, full-time employees who have accumulated 240 hours maximum sick leave may deposit further sick leave at a rate of 40 hours per year into a sick leave bank. The sick bank will provide the difference between an employee's regular wages and amount provided by the employee's short-term disability plan for 6 months. That's if there's not time in the bank, if there's not time in the bank, I mean, we can't guarantee that, that's a big red flag. After
Yeah.
short-term disability plan is expired, the sick bank will pay the difference between the long-term disability plan and the employee's regular wages. That's all contingent upon having enough.
If there's nothing in the bank, what do you do?
Exactly,
Well-
you can't draw it out,
Um,
you know, it'd be negative.
I think this is where I gotten a comment from the,
I know this is a previous board long before us that did this, so,
right,
you know, I'm trying to throw him under the bus or,
his argument, and I didn't put in my email with me, the argument, or the comment that Brian brought up when
Yeah.
I asked him about this, whether it'd be an unfunded liability, is that because,
you're not putting money aside, it don't count.
Or
right,
you're not budgeting for it.
No.
but, I should probably go get his email, because
Yeah.
it's very clear with,
I remember seeing it too.
I guess basically what I'm asking the board is for clarification, so that the current employees can understand the method of using your sick time, sick leave
Mm-hmm.
versus using the sick bank, and when that would happen. I'm just asking for clarification, but let me look at that email.
It didn't say anything here, but how, yeah, there's a lot left out of here that really needs to be in here. Yeah, this is, some way we're doing something like this.
That's it.
So the, if you flip it over one page.
Oh, this way?
Yeah, we should have,
Oh.
a sentence like that in there regarding sick bank, before that even gets used.
This, this right here would be more applicable on this, on your sick bank prior to its
Mhm.
usage, cause that's how
Yep.
everyone else runs it.
Yep.
You know, and I'm reading this now, and this contradicts this here.
Mhm. Good.
Alright, so I have a definition of sick bank, from uslegals.com, which basically says sick bank is referred to a collection of sick days donated by members of a bargaining unit, which we aren't at this point, until, a unit into a bank for use by other members of the unit. This is intended to help members who may have exhausted their sick leave. This can be on the basis of contract made during union and management negotiations.
That's
And then-
about right.
And then, Brian McDermott, you had asked
Mhm.
if this would be a liability for the town. He said that traditionally, the employee would need to use up their accrual time before tapping into the sick bank. And however, it depends on the town and what the town has in place for policy requirements. And then
Wrong
typically,
policy.
yeah,
Yeah,
but typically,
Well, we established that.
The policy they have here, cause I'm looking at this, and the actual verbiage under personal leave of absence,
Yeah.
that first paragraph,
Yeah,
should have been incorporated in this side,
Mhm.
cause
Oh.
then it defines what your sick leave is, cause
Mhm.
this convolutes it here. This
Right.
means that anybody
Mhm.
that's in that situation can make access of sick leave.
Mhm.
And if you had this sentence here.
oh yeah,
this-
it's right in the first paragraph of the next, okay, I see
Right
it.
again.
Yeah,
Personal
so
leave of
see-
absence may be granted to the sole, at the sole discretion of the board of selectmen to
But
employees
that's-
who have exhausted their leave available under the town's other leave policies, including vacation, sick, maternity leave, and is normally
Yeah.
only granted for compelling reasons.
But notice that they only use that for personal leave or personal absence.
Yeah,
And here you have a sick leave.
Mhm.
And
okay,
that's where this paragraph should have probably been here, cause in most institutions
yeah,
that have a sick bank, and a
Yeah.
sick bank isn't assigned to a person, it's assigned to everyone that's in it.
yeah,
And one
Mhm.
person could actually exhaust it.
that's right.
If they
Yeah.
wanted to.
Yep, yep,
Unless you put limits on it.
Right, exactly, but one
Yeah.
person could exhaust
Yep,
it if they
absolutely.
wanted to.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I'm not disagreeing.
But they usually have to use up all their vacation time, all their sick time, all their personal
Personal time.
days,
Yeah.
and then they get into that, and this here is convoluted, cause you have it in the wrong, well, I say it's in the wrong section,
Yep.
Yeah.
cause it should be here.
I agree.
mhm,
So, I mean, I don't know what to say, sick leave defines itself. If you read this,
Well, I believe we've also, in a number of discussions we've had, have defined it that you need to use your sick leave before you can even think about the sick leave bank.
okay,
but that's without referring to
Right,
the personnel
and I
plan.
think we've already clarified that, and
You
we got-
know?
we have minutes with that in it.
I understand
Yeah.
that, but that's without referring to this
Right,
personnel plan that describes it differently.
yes. Well, this says if you're on disability too, I mean, cause if you really read it, it says, deposit after 40 hours sick leave into the bank. The sick bank will provide the difference between an employee's regular wages and the amount provided by the employee's short-term disability plan for 6 months. So if you really wanna go by the letter of the law, what it describes there, the only time you can use a sick leave bank is when you're on short-term disability, and then eventually go to long-term disability.
okay,
So, you know, if you're not on either one of them, the sick leave bank truly doesn't technically apply.
okay, then we really need to revisit this.
Absolutely,
Because
Yeah.
it's
don't disagree.
not-
I mean, cause I think that defeats the whole purpose of the sick leave bank.
Yeah, yeah, cause there is a lot of information under the personal leave that
Mhm.
also refers to if a person leaves, person's
Yep.
leave of absence,
Mm-hmm,
let's see, it
Oh,
says
leave of
here,
absence.
however, if the leave of absence for medical reasons,
Mhm.
eligible employees may apply for workers' compensation, et cetera, so.
I mean, this is a
The
good
two should
attempt.
be meshed together,
Yeah.
if this is going to be allowed, then this should be,
This plan needs to be reworked considerably,
Yeah.
so, but, I think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, I think the intent that we've come up with consensus in the past is that sick leave bank doesn't get used until you at least utilize all your sick leave,
Yeah.
as a minimum.
Yeah.
I think that's where the term gets confusing, it's sick leave bank, and then it's sick leave,
Right.
which is
Right.
what you accrue under the personnel. So that,
Mhm.
even the wording of the two terms is a
Mhm.
little bit too close in similarity, and it
Mhm.
gets confusing, so.
So is that what you're looking for?
I would like, yes, for the record, just clarification that sick leave needs to be exhausted
As a
before
minimum.
Before you
the sick bank,
touch the bank, right?
yeah.
So,
Well, again, the problem I have is this is currently what we're going by.
right.
Yeah,
And because of that, whether we made reference to how it gets used,
yeah,
when you're reading this, it's conflicting
Mhm.
with what we were saying. And I think the better of anything is, at some point in time when we address this,
yeah,
Mhm.
we kind of mix this so that it
Oh,
isn't
absolutely.
confusing.
Mhm.
right,
you
right,
know?
yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, we can start, I can send it to everyone electronically in Words if we wanted to start tackling it. I know
Yep.
we'll probably be attempting the start of budget,
Well, just
probably
chip away at it
strategy
best we can.
meeting, I mean, I think in the past, what we've done with the personnel plan is we went, pages 1 through 5, or, you
Mhm.
know, picked a portion of the plan,
Mhm.
and then continued on through,
Yeah.
so that we don't have to do the whole thing in one
Oh,
sitting.
God, no, there's no
Right.
way you're gonna do it in one sitting.
No.
That'd be a marathon.
Or if the board decides they wanna do workshops, I don't know, that's something that,
Well, I mean, stuff like this, you got sexual harassment policy, I mean, personally, I think, you know, my honest opinion, you put your policies out and leave them separate. And your personnel plan. I mean, they are part and parcel of it, but, you know, a policy should stand alone on its own,
oh,
in my opinion.
Oh.
Cause that's the weight of a policy, you know, it's
Yeah.
on its own, it's there,
and the only thing is we
I mean, you
start
could
to.
reference it in here, you know,
Yeah.
see the town of Dunbarton personnel policy, or
Yeah.
include it as an addendum to it, that sort of thing, but you know, that's just from years of doing this kind of stuff.
Okay,
And I could be all off base and, you know.
I
what-
just, my concern that is that if it's not
Mhm.
referenced in detail in the most valuable document that the employees look at, that it could
Mhm.
be lost or,
Well, that's why I make it like, I mean, make an addendum and then, you know, the policies get reviewed once a year.
yeah, yeah.
Drug and alcohol policy, cause I mean, I know everywhere I've been, you know, the personnel plan it's more like telling you, you know, your rates of pay, your leave, you know, your insurance, that kind of stuff.
Perhaps I should start reaching out to neighboring towns to get
Yeah.
copies of their
Yeah.
personnel plan, see what they have.
It wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
I know as a manager for Walgreens.
We may wanna do an addendum on this sexual harassment policy.
Yep.
To include it in the back of the personnel
Absolutely,
plan,
yep.
so that they're aware of it, you
Mhm.
know?
Right.
Just like anti-bullying or
Yep.
any of those, cause what happens is, if something happens and someone isn't cognizant,
Mhm.
they pick up the phone, they call the Human Rights Commission,
Mhm.
they send an inspector out to examine what's going on, and
Mhm.
we get caught in